Hello and welcome to Quartz Light, your car brochure channel. In today's special edition Saturday episode, let's have a look at some of the Fiesta special editions. Hello and welcome to Quartz Light, your car brochure channel. Now if you're new to Quartz Light, what are we? Well, we're a very tiny YouTube channel looking at car brochures from around the world for the 1960s, 70s, 80s and 1990s, and we sometimes go beyond those years as well. So if you're interested in cars, car brochures, looking back at cars gone by, memories is what this channel's all about, then please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. Now this particular episode was first aired on a Saturday. Now on Saturdays on Quartz Light we look at special editions variously from many different makes and models of car. Today is no exception, although it kind of is in some ways, in that as a kind of like run up to Christmas, we're going to have a look at, or a very brief overview of all the Ford Fiesta special editions that we've looked at on this channel so far. So let's throw that on the board and let's see what we've looked at. And of course, if you missed any of these, of course they're all in the back catalogue. I'll also do a link to some of the special editions at the end of this episode as well. Anyway, to the board we go. So just to note, first of all, this isn't all the special editions that we ever got for a Fiesta. This is just all the special editions we've looked at on the show so far, and there is quite a few of them. Amazing how many Fiestas we've covered over the years. So we'll have a quick overview of this. We're not going to have a detailed look at the brochures, of course, because we have actually had episodes for each and every one of these, but I thought it'd be nice just to go through a few in case you've missed any, and in case you're thinking, don't forget please do mention other Fiesta special editions. I can certainly have a look out for them as well, because I like looking at these Ford special editions. I must admit they did some interesting special editions for sure, some more so than others, some not much more than a stripe really, but still I do like looking at these special editions. The first special edition is starting with this one. This is kind of like the earliest one we looked at, the Fiesta Kingfisher. So let's have a look at that one first. And here it is, a nice looking special edition. I always liked two-tone Fords in sort of like the late 70s. You got quite a few of them, of course. This one, of course, is Cosmos Blue, Strato Silver Lower. And that was the only two-tone colour you could get for the Kingfisher, although you could quite simply get one in Cosmos Blue and one in Strato Silver. But you find with the two-tone cars, they had more equipment on, although interestingly, you could then add the equipment back onto the single-tone cars as in terms of optional extras. So a little bit of a strange special edition in that way, but no doubt one of the better Fiesta special editions, I do believe. These cost £3,073.10 for the two-tone version, £2,882.07 for the single tone version, and then you could have some of the options you can get on the Fiesta L put on these as well. So it's saying you can't have things like a vinyl roof and tinted glass, but alloy wheels are also available as an option, not normally available on the L. So rather nice in the late 70s to have alloy wheels on your Fiesta for just £100, and then you can have a little bit of a pack to put back the equipment that they took away for the single tone cars. So screen glass roof, remote control driver's door mirror and head restraints were standard on the two-tone model. You had to pay £150 extra if you wanted that on the single tone model, which certainly is a little bit weird. Moving on, metallic Roman bronze and Cordoba beige marks this special edition, the Fiesta Sandpiper. I really like this colour combination. It's very much of its time, I think. And it's actually one of my favourite colour combinations for the Mark I Fiesta. Strangely, a lot of people don't like that, but I guess that's just how things are. Everyone's got their own taste, of course, but I particularly like this special edition for the colours because it's very much of its time, and again a very good looking special edition. And you know, we don't just get tape stripes, we've got an actual rubbing strip going the full length of the car. Again, one of the better special editions. Again, I always think it's worth going for special editions just to go get the head restraints, as I just messed the camera up there. You can get head restraints on your special editions, so I sometimes think it's worth going for that, just for that little bit of added safety in the late 70s. This one even looks rather nice on the inside, I think. Look at those seats. I would say this is one of my favourite special editions, but of course there are lots. Let's move on. Moving into the 80s, the Festival. Look at those body side decals, very much of their time, aren't they? Quite interesting wheels as well, with these sort of beauty ring on them as well, but that's quite a wild graphic, isn't it? Again, this has got quite a nice interior. Look at those seats, really do suit it. I mean, these are only budget cars, of course, of their time, so always nice to have something a little bit different on these. I do believe these were based on your 950 or your 1117cc engines, and you get a wide choice of colours. Note that your side decal kind of like changes colour depending on what colour you pick. For example, an unusual one, if you get prairie yellow, you've got a dark yellow and black decal, so hard to really picture what all there's. I'm sure some of those colours worked better than others, like for example Solar Gold with a dark yellow and black decal. I don't know how that would look personally. It also tells you you've got a convenience option pack. A special convenience option pack is available, consisting of removable rear parcel shelves, head restraints and a push button radio. So just to remind you, not all the special editions came with head restraints or even a radio in this case, but I'm sure that was worth throwing the convenience pack on there. Convenience pack was £100. Price of these 950 was £3,250, the 1100 £3,424, and then the metallic 950 £3,321, and the 1100 metallic £3,495, and that option pack that was surely worth going for an extra £100. We got special editions to mark celebrations like the 2 millionth Fiesta. Again, a rather nice two-tone example. Probably showing the name Bravo, which is also something I wanted to talk about. You notice with Ford, they either shout out this is a special edition and tell you it is, and some special editions they don't even have a name on there at all. But again, a nice looking special edition overall. A bit more of a plainer interior on this one. Even though it's showing one colour only on this brush, there are a colour choice as it tells you here. So either graphite grey metallic and strato silver with grey trim and a red stripe, or cobalt blue metallic and strato silver with blue trim and a dark red stripe. So both two-tone colours, but there is a bit of a choice. Price wise, we're now into the £4,000 territory. So the 1100 was £4,215. The 1300 £4,395, and we do get sort of more basic spec Fiesta model special editions as well, like the Firefly with these unusual painted steel wheels and a side stripe, but not exactly the cutting edge of limited editions. I think this was a more basic end level, but certainly a memorable one, telling us it's a bright new style setter. As you can see, brochure on this one not in the best of condition. I think there was going for a more sporty feel with this one, but I don't know about those wheels. I've not got used to them. Interesting seats, but no head restraints. This also came with the S suspension. Tells us to give a car that really handles well. So there was definitely going for that more sporty feel with this one. You could get colour choices though, again So yeah, this came with colour choice as well, like Strator Silver, Signal Red, Terracotta and Cordoba Beige. All single colour choices on these, of course. I think these were a little bit cheaper, and that really means price dependent on colour by the looks of it. So if you've got Cordoba Beige and Terracotta, your 950 started at £3,283.37, moving right up to, if you chose Strator Silver, because obviously metallic, again in 1100, it was £3,529.29, £100 for the option pack, which gave you such niceties as a gradient band windshield, tinted glass, heated rear window and a radio. And you also get a centre console and clock, really showing you how basic this particular Firefly was. I think it was worth going for those few options though. It also tells you got your option availability. All of the Fiesta options are available with the exception of the touring pack and colour and trim options. But certainly still a very noticeable special edition for its time. But time moving on for the Fiesta and time moving on for the special editions. This is now February 1982. A return of a special edition name, the Bravo, now the Bravo II. Again, another rather lovely looking Fiesta special edition. I like the grille on these. We've got little centre caps, we get head restraints, although they are the kind of like see-through one that they like doing at this time. Again, not a bad looking special edition. You got colour choice as well. You can have Titan Blue Metallic and Strator Silver, which is indeed the colour shown in this brochure. You could also rather nicely have Crystal Green Metallic and Strator Silver. I think that would have been my choice. Or Cardinal Red and Strator Silver. Not a bad special edition. A little bit of a peek on the inside there, and those, this little interesting little area for your radio though. Still, obviously these are Mark 1 Fiestas, so they're pretty basic, but I like the special editions for the Fiesta. I think they added something quite nice and a little bit more unique. So we get more engine choices now. So we got a 950, 1100 and a 1300 now. So £4,375 for the 950, £4,565 for the 1100, and the 1300 coming up at £4,815. Quite a pleasant special edition, I think you'll agree. Now we've got the caption, of course, that Ford gives you more. 1983 brought us the Quartz in this very much 80s graphics, isn't it? Fiesta Quartz, precision engineering, time to perfection. Is the special edition Quartz, is that talking about your quartz clocks maybe? Is that why that caption is there? But certainly the graphics is very 80s. Interesting look to it. We've got a little bit of a side graphic again, very 80s. You can certainly see that difference, can't you, from late 70s to 80s in how they treated special editions. We've also, instead of a chrome beauty ring, we've got this kind of like red insert instead. I must admit, the more I look at this, the less I like that red insert. I might have just pulled that off there, actually. I'm not sure. Maybe some of the other colours might have worked better, black or a red, I don't know, but I'm not too sure about the look of this one. Certainly those wheels look striking on this particular colour. So these were actually based on the very lowly Popular Plus. Nice to see head restraints, even though they're those sort of hard, not for comfort type. Two engine choices, 950 or a 1.1 economy engine, so $4,089 for the 950, $4,240 for the 1.1 economy. The May 1983 all-car brochure for Ford. The main car featured on the front cover was a special edition, the Ford Fiesta Finesse. The name Finesse used many times by Ford for special editions. This sort of S-type driving lights certainly look the part. A polished little car around town, it tells us. Again, a similar sort of interior setup with these hard A-frame type head restraints, but we could get some niceties there, like a parcel shelf. How lovely. Look at the rear, how it was badged, and these little overriders on the bumpers. Look at that, even a sunroof. No striking graphics, no two-tone paint, but I actually really like this one. I like the overriders and I like those driving lights. I think that's what makes it really stand out for me. It does look a little bit sporty. So apologies, the price list is falling on the crease there, but nice to see how it compares to the other Fiestas actually at the time. So the Finesse came as a 950, a 1.1 economy or a 1.3. So the 950 was £4,162, 1.1 economy £4,250, and the Finesse 1.3 was £4,615. Nice to sort of compare it to the XR2, which was £5,353, which I'm sure was the car you wanted, but may have been just out of your reach. Compare it to the other sporty model, of course, the S, which came as a 1.1S or a 1.3S, £4,833 for the 1.1, £5,090 for the 1.3. You can see why people may have been tempted by the Finesse. With that sporty look, it was a little bit cheaper. Moving on, and a reminder that special edition Fiestas weren't just for Mark I Fiestas. Here we see it in this 1986 special edition for the Mark II, the Firefly. Really very much sort of a Fiesta gear without a gear badge on it. Sort of a two-tone, or at least a dark below those rubbing strips, and certainly a high-spec special edition for the time. A huge improvement, of course, for the dashboard on these Mark II Fiestas. And look from the rear there, and telling us they are proud enough to show the Firefly name. Nice to see the Firefly name return as well. And indeed, those seats do look rather nice with those much nicer head restraints on there. Only one colour though, Rosso Red, so you had to like red, and only came as a 1.1. Of course, prices are climbing now, £5,568.88. The all-range catalogue for February 1987 brought us our next Fiesta Special Edition, the Fiesta Finesse. Nothing succeeds like Finesse. Featuring white wheel trims and a little bit of a go faster red stripe going down the side. What more could you want? Available as even a 950 or a 1.1. You could have your Finesse for £5,064.40 for your 950, £5,316 for your 1.1, and that would compare to £6,316 for the S, £6,990 for your XR2. So pretty well priced overall. This is your gear. Gear was an expensive Fiesta, wasn't it, at £6,415 or £6,903 for your 1.4. Moving down, first column of course is your popular, but that was super basic, wasn't it? It compares more favourably. I mean, if you look at a Popular Plus, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than a Popular Plus. Cheaper than an L though. They're always very clever actually how they position the special editions to make them really something that you thought, that's a good deal. And then the final special edition for Fiesta that we've seen on the show to date for Quarterlight, the special edition Fiesta Flight. Yes, the Mark III Fiesta. This particular one's from 1991. Showing that very unusual flight decal. I guess you can see it probably better here. Unusual design for that. I don't know what the Fiesta's got to do with flight, but nevertheless, quite a striking decal to put on the side of the Fiesta. Bit more of this sort of darker paintwork below the rubbing strip again. And again, not a badly spec'd Fiesta. These alloy wheels for me are really the highlight of this particular special edition. Even gives you a little bit of a look at the rear and how that is badged, and again that aeroplane or jet decal. Just 3 colours available for the Flight: Nordic Green, Matisse Blue and Moondust Silver. Interesting as well, you could get this Fiesta with ABS, really moving the Fiesta into a new era. But they're all the special editions we've looked at so far in Quartzlight. So there we go, the Ford Fiesta special editions that we've looked at so far in Quartzlight. If you remember others, please just in the comments, I'll see if we can track those ones down for next year's special edition Fiestas. Also let me know which is your favourite of the models we've covered so far. Now we're into December. You might see some of the or the amount of episodes we produce each week reduce slightly during the Christmas period, December, early January. You might see that we've got a few less episodes. That's just because it's such a busy time of year. That doesn't mean we're not going to go back to our usual huge numbers of episodes each week, but I just wanted to say for our regulars, you might see a few less episodes each week as we run up to Christmas and as we go into the new year. For the time being, up until Christmas, we'll probably do maybe some of the Escort special editions next week and so on, and a bit of a run up to Christmas. We'll have an overview of what we've done so far. So nothing's really changing in Quartzlight as a whole, but you might see some of the episodes changing. You might see some reduction in the number of videos we do as a lead up to Christmas. I just wanted to tell you, don't worry, once things quieten down again, we will go back to our ridiculously high number of videos each week. But I wanted to tell you that, as you know, I appreciate the regulars so much. But we'll end as we always do by saying, please do consider subscribing if you've not done it already. It is all completely free, helps you find the episodes, helps you keep on track with Quartzlight, and also helps us increase the show and better content for you. Win-win really, isn't it? You can also become a member if you want to. Look on the YouTube Quartzlight page for details on that. Subscribing is free though, I will point out membership has got a very low monthly fee. I'm going to end with my favourite special edition Fiesta we've looked at so far, the Sandpiper in that love it or hate it paint colours. I love it. I love that two-tone. It's very much of the late 70s, isn't it? But thank you so much for watching today. Please do join us again. I'll put one of the boxes will be for special editions. Like I say, all these special editions we've covered in detail, so you will be able to find them on the Quartzlight channel if you've missed any of these individual brochures. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great weekend. We'll see you very soon, and goodbye.